Hello everybody, welcome to today's video, and in today's video we are going to be creating this system where we can move a player, limit the movement it actually has so that it doesn't go up against the border. It can fire bullets, which are right in front of the player so that everything looks good, and that's what we'll be working on for today. This is honestly surprisingly simple code, so it shouldn't be anything too difficult. Without further ado, let's begin. First off, I have brought in my fighter jets and bullets. If we go to our backdrops, we're going to put in the color backdrop. Now, the vector does not put in a backdrop when you click with the fill tool. You want to convert it to a bitmap. And then we can set it. So I'm going to go there and there. This is heavily inspired by Warframe's shooter game. Shoot 'em up type style of game. So, without further ado, let us begin. First off, we want to make it that the player can actually move. So when the green flag is clicked, we want it to get to its starting position. We're going to grab a go to X 0 and Y negative 150. And this just sets it to the middle. Now, we want it to forever point towards the mouse pointer because we want it to go in that direction. However, we don't want it pointing downwards, so we need to limit the amount it can turn. To do this, we need two if-then statements. And going to our operators, we're going to have a above and less than. In our motion, we're going to have the direction variables. And then the top one, we're going to go 45, and then the bottom one, negative 45. And finally, we're going to point in direction for both if-then statements and put in these two values. Just like that. So now we can limit the amount the guy can turn. However, we actually have not made it that it can move. So what we're going to do is we are going to make it move 10 steps. And then we're going to use a set Y position to negative 150. That way it doesn't float away from the bottom of the screen where we want it to stay. And there you go. So now the guy can move, and he's fast enough that it just straightens nicely when it reaches the mouse pointer. However, this guy can kind of go off to the edge, and I don't want that to happen. So using this, I'm going to swap out these directions for the X position variable, and these point in direction for set X. So for the top one, we're going to use a 210, and then put that value in, and a negative 210 for a negative 210 there. So now it limits the movement from our plane carrier, or whatever you want to call it. And there you go. Now, currently our plane is kind of defenseless. It can't really do much. So to fix that, we're going to create a separate forever loop, which is going to wait 0.07 seconds. I found worked out well, and then create a clone of the bullet. So now we have this, and the bullet is going to create clones. As you can see, our clones are going higher. So we're going to go, when I start as a clone, we want it to show, and then we want it to go to the player and point towards the mouse pointer. So now it's pointing towards the mouse pointer and going to the player. However, it doesn't look very proper because the bullets are spawning on top of the player. To fix that, we're just going to say go to the back layer. Also, the bullet should be spawning right in front of the player, not inside of it, because that just looks weird. So to do this, we're going to say go to X and swap out the go to player. we're going to go to Sensing, and we're going to grab a backdrop of stage and set this to player. We're going to put that into both of these. The X will have the X position of player, and then the Y will have the Y position of player. Then going to our operators, we will grab a plus and a 20 and put the Y position right inside. There you go. Now it is right in front of the player. So, just to fix things up, since it is pointing towards the mouse pointer, it means that everything can point downwards, which doesn't look right. So to fix this, we could say point in direction, direction of player. And this will now point in the player's direction. Finally, we want it to move to the edge, so repeat until touching the edge that it is going to move 12 steps. And then after that occurs, we will make it delete itself. As you can see, it is now traveling away from the player, and when it hits the edge, it deletes itself, which is kind of fancy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.